Hello, we are business intelligence consultants from Group 5 and we are going to present ideas of how we will design a business intelligence process for Primark so that they can manage information in a more efficient way when they decide what is the most appropriate market for internationalization. We are going to cover Primark's background, its own characteristics, and its situation compared to its competitors. We will also describe how we will develop a business intelligence process of expanding business covering the following issues. What is the problem? What is the global environment like? How can information be collected and processed into decision and analysis and production, which answers to the question of how does the process use the data.
We begin by introducing the industry and Primark as a company. Fashion industry is a global, fast-paced industry. Fashion is followed everywhere, and it follows trends that change rapidly and follow seasonal cycles. Recently, there have been notable breakthroughs of chains that are highly profitable and have grown global. Examples of such multinational enterprises are, for example, H&M or Zara. These chains compete with efficient global logistics and trendy designs. They are able to keep prices affordable due to scale advantages. Primark is a new player in the game. They are competitive since they have found a way to bring their prices lower than those of the competitors. They wish to expand and need a business intelligence process for the decision making for choosing a new store location. Primark is an Irish clothing retailer that specializes in clothing and accessories at low prices. For instance, a lady's fashion belt costs €1 and a pair of men's jeans costs €6. Primark sells at low prices and therefore sells in bulk. They have chosen a low-cost strategy. Their quality, while not being the best, is still reasonable, but their prices are simply unbeatable. Primark sells in bulk, in large volumes, to a mass market in order to make high turnover. This means they sell to a large amount of people, and their stores need to be, and they also are usually heaving with people.
It's mad, yeah, insane, yeah.
There is almost a euphoric feeling for Primark.
I love Primark!
What's the magic that puts Primark together? I think, we do operate very differently to other retailers.
Well, we see ourselves as a value retailer, but first and foremost, we're a fashion brand.
I quite often get asked, what is the
Primark's strengths are excellent supply chain management capabilities, alliances and joint venture with other firms, understanding the importance of corporate social responsibility, brand image of Primark as compared to rivals, wider geographic coverage, better product quality price as compared to rivals, Primark poaches rivals' top buyer, economy of scale as compared to rivals, superior technological skills. We will now move on to the actual business intelligence process. Business intelligence is about acquiring information from inside and outside the firm for decision making. The process begins by figuring out what the purpose of the business intelligence process is and formulating the specific requirements of it. Here we want to focus on the business intelligence process that helps Primark decide where they should open the next stores. The question that will help consider this are, for example, which markets should be in, which markets are suitable for new foreign direct investment, what information do we already have from our existing sources, and what information do we still need to acquire. How will we process the information so that we will get to a decision?
Let's first have a look at what data we already have, and next ask what data we still need for finding answers to the questions raised. In addition, we need to determine not only what data we need, but also where to get it from. Some of it is already available from inside the company, but a lot needs to be collected from outside sources in this case. Gathering and collecting data can be too arduous for the company to do all on its own, so it should hire consultants who can do the work for them. Data we might already have available includes knowledge on the supply chain process, established relations to suppliers, and information on sales and profitability in areas where Primark already has operations. Customer relationship management information and, for example, manufacturing plants near the region can help in this process of expansion. We are well aware of our own organizational culture and values, which means that we need to find a suitable location for our next store so that the local habits and ours are not in contradiction. We also already have know-how on the process of setting up a new store in general.
There is a lot of data that needs to be collected from the outside. We need statistics on various issues to be able to create information about the new market so that it would be useful for our business and business intelligence problem solving. One of the most important things is to find out about the demographics. For example, how many inhabitants, students, and families with children live in the region. In other words, what kind of potential customers are there and what is the demand like? Information on future growth potential is vital. We need to know from government statistics or other sources what kind of purchasing power the people living and visiting the area have and what is the cost structure in the market. It is further important to find out the level of wages, rents and taxes as well as the overall institutional level matters in the country. What kind of political and socio-economic development there are. It is also important to survey the possible competitors, fashion trends, and the economic situation in the area. High rivalry and customer loyalty in the area complicate the market entry and might raise the entry costs and lower the future profitability. For pricing, it is good to understand local purchasing culture and how much local customers are willing to pay. Primark should also try to find out how they should position their brands in order to fit into potential customers' lifestyle and how important are brands as a means of self-expression in the target culture.
Now that we know what information we can have, it is possible to consider how to use it. It is typical to a decision-making process or heuristics to aim at finding first a limited amount of choices and then comparing them. This is because detailed analysis of a large amount of choices is laborious and expensive. With a limited amount of choices left, it is easier to analyze them in greater detail for decision making. The choice that best fulfills the decision-making criteria should of course win. The choices for target market can be selected by eliminating the locations that do not meet the selection criteria. On the other hand, it is already possible to start finding the alternatives that are strong from the perspective of the criteria. How is this done in practice? It is possible to group markets as market blocks based on similarities of geographic distance, economic development, language, culture, membership of trade unions, and so on. Some of the market groups may already be more lucrative than the others. Choosing market blocks, individual markets, geographical regions, and finally individual locations and segments is possible by evaluating them further by the information we have acquired on political, economic, social, technological, environmental, cultural, and demographic issues. It helps to highlight criteria by which it is possible to prioritize those factors that should affect the decision. Once we have established such basic criteria, it is possible to make a market pre-selection with those choices that meet all the established basic criteria. So which of the market choices is the most suitable? The aim was to compare these markets considering the collected data and the criteria established. For this purpose, we can create, for example, a decision matrix with the following information: pre-selected markets, comparison factors, degree of importance, evaluation of the importance of each factor in 0 if irrelevant to 5 if it is a factor very important, market value, evaluation of the situation in each market for each factor, 0 if unfavorable to 5 if it is very favorable, weighting of factors and market, degree of importance and market value, sum of weighted columns in each market. Acquisition of data, optimizing it for analysis, analyzing it, finding the choices, and making the final decision takes a lot of time and effort. It is important, for this reason, to have fairly many of the store location initiatives in the pipeline. While some are already at a realization stage, we are only just starting to find information of others. The store launches will need to be sequenced, since we would not have resources for studying or establishing an unlimited amount of stores at a time period. The business intelligence process that produces store location decisions builds a roadmap of store launches. Finally, the business intelligence process for the selection of the store location must connect well with the other business intelligence processes at the firm. One of them relates to the actual construction and launch of the stores, and another naturally to the ongoing business routines. In conclusion, it is necessary to learn what information we already have, what information is needed, and if we do not have the information, where to get it from. It is helpful next to learn how markets are connected to find market groups. These market groups or individual markets and regions can be compared by selection criteria. To save the effort, it is normal to first limit the number of choices, then analyze the remaining with greater detail, and decide. We call this process, since it is necessary to have coming up store location decisions in the pipeline, and made decisions as a strategic roadmap. This business intelligence process should connect seamlessly to other business intelligence projects of the firm. We are Group 5, and this is how we would design the business intelligence process of selecting store locations for Primark.